I make a motion that the commission find the actions of Mayor Elam unacceptable concerning sections 1A and section 2 of the right complaint, and that this commission admonish Mayor Elam for her behavior. I have been advised by the city attorney this is well within our authority to make such a determination, and the standard that is driven the determination was also spelled out by the city attorney. As a part of my motion, I would ask that this commission finds, as a matter of law, Mayor Elam did not violate the recently passed ethics ordinance.
Just a moment, please.
Should be an amendment to the motion that was on the table.
Tell me how that works. Your motion on the table would be to accept your...
The motion on the table was to dismiss the investigation.
And that is what this is the end result. I actually think we're asking for the same thing, but I want the other added, so I guess it would be an amendment.
The amendment will have to be accepted by Commissioner Sellers. You made the motion, didn't you?
Yeah, I made a motion. Mr. Haggerty seconded it. So if you're going to make an amendment to that motion,
Yeah. You'll have to vote on the amendment first.
you'll have a first and a second.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Well, I will second, but I want to amend it.
And I may want to amend it too.
Okay.
That's the second.
I guess I have to talk. I'm out of breath. I'll second. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to use plain words. I feel my motion is to censure the mayor.
Censure?
Censure the mayor.
I think that's public admonishment and censure actually amount to the same thing.
Censure is a public reprimand for Paula Flowers. I'm not trying to take out any section or delete any section or whatever. The line is plain and to the point.
Is there a second? Seeing no second, we're back on the motion to amend.
And I would like to make a motion to amend what is on the table. That would be, you would reference section 1A of the complaint in section 2, and I would ask that we delete the assertion in section 2. I did not feel that that rose to any level of unacceptable behavior.
Is there a second?
Section 2 being the
Section 2 asserted that the mayor violated the ethics code by publicly disclosing confidential information.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the Second Amendment? All those in favor of deleting Section 2 in the original amendment, say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Abstain?
Any abstentions? So now the motion by Mr. Sellers, seconded by Vice Mayor Haggerty, is to dismiss the complaint. The amendment on the floor is to admonish with an acknowledgement that there was no violation of the ethics ordinance. I want to make a couple of things clear here. The matter about which I called the city planner is very, very similar to a matter that this city, this board, and the planning commission have dealt with more than once in the past. That involved an attempt to, in my view, exceed not only staff authority, but also involve a violation of the Constitution and previously established policies of this city. Although I did not mention it at the time, I know that each member of this commission, with the possible exception of Commissioner Sellers, our newest member, is familiar with what we affectionately refer to as the doctor driveway mess. In that instance, these same city staffers unilaterally decided to remove a business's driveway at Mount Juliet Road and force one business to route their traffic across the land of the adjoining business, all without the adjoining business's permission. It was a debacle. The city was sued. We didn't just lose, we got killed. And that ended up costing the taxpayers of this city over $100,000 to put it back to exactly where it had been the first time. During my tenure as chair of the Planning Commission, we had an instance where we're all familiar with Bank of the South. We know where Bank of the South is on Mount Juliet Road to the south of Division. Bank of the South sat there in this little temporary building for year after year after year. They grew, they prospered in our community, and they decided it was time to build a permanent structure. They built what I consider the most attractive building in this city. Multi-story, columns. We all know what that looks like. Upon completion of the new building, it was time to get rid of the temporary structure. They sold off, sectioned off, and sold that original piece of land where the temporary structure had sat to Bob Parks Realty. Bob Parks Realty came before this commission and the Planning Commission, I think before this commission, but I know before the Planning Commission, and said, we too want to build a beautiful building in your city. And as you can imagine, being the pro-development mayor that I am, we welcome that with open arms. To the south of that building is a less attractive building. It's brick, but it's been there a while. It's had finer days, and it holds a dollar closeout business. Turns out the gentleman that owns that property, and I do not mean to malign that property at all, they're just not of the same stature. Also owns land behind where Bob Parks Realty is now. He came to the Planning Commission, which I chaired, repeatedly and begged, cajoled, threatened, did everything he could think of to do to force the city to provide an access easement from Mount Juliet Road across the Bob Parks Realty property to access his land behind where that building was going to go. The Planning Commission declined repeatedly. It was not within the power, the authority, the desire, or the will of the Planning Commission to force one business owner to allow another business owner, which may develop into who knows what, to send all their traffic across their property. Bob Parks Realty did not want the owner of the adjoining property to the south, who also owned property to the east, to be able to funnel their eventual businesses' traffic across that land. That is an identical situation to what was confronted in September of 2006 by Mount Juliet Crossing. Staff once again was attempting to exceed their authority. They were attempting to violate established city commission, planning commission policy, and in my humble opinion as a real estate lawyer, they were attempting to violate constitutional restraints that says no government will take the property of another without compensation.